What's up, everybody? Welcome to McWater's Effect. I am Matt, and today we're going to be checking out a video where Steve Bannon and Rich Baris are sending out warning signals to Trump and to the Republicans because it doesn't look good for the midterms. And I'm hoping he listens to them because they're looking at the generic ballot right now, and Democrats are way ahead by like 14%, depending on the poll. And this is a good indicator that the midterms might be out of our reach when it comes to actually keeping the House. And they're concerned about it. So, what they're trying to do is try to get Vince Trump and the Republicans to course correct with some of the stuff they're doing. So, let's go ahead and take a look at the video.
Do you think any of this came up from Epstein to anything else? Maybe not seeing the policies, or however you want to define it, was the difference between what people thought, particularly New Jersey would be close, versus and also Virginia, and that these turned out to be blowouts. These were double digits, I think 10 or 12 points in New Jersey, and even more than that in Virginia. That part of that is already shown by the lack of motivation of maybe some of the people, particularly the lower propensity voters, to turn out for these things. And that's a storm warning. It should be a storm warning for MAGA, and a storm warning for the president, and a storm warning for the Republicans, sir.
Yeah, I've been curious about this as well because I've been warning that the fact is Trump is not going to be on the ballot in 2026 or in 2028. And low propensity voters, a lot of them are going out there voting. They just vote for Donald Trump and that's it. And that concerns me when it comes to these other elections because the fact is he's not going to be on the ballot. Are they going to come out? How are we going to convince them to come out? Because it seems like the only reason they do come out is just to vote for Trump. And so somehow the Republicans are going to have to convince them to actually come out and vote for other candidates and other races. So they got a lot of work ahead of them, in my opinion.
We're talking to Republican voters from those states right now and asking them why they didn't vote, what was the motivating factor. And especially in Virginia, people would think it was the government shutdown. Of course, that did hurt, but that's actually number 3 in what we're seeing right now. Number 1 and 2, it tells a story. I mean, it's I can tell you guys, it's Epstein and Israel, but Israel stands as a symbol of foreign policy. People are mad that the administration got sidelined with other things that they didn't really care about. Now we're going into.
So pretty much what they got mad about is prices haven't went down in the United States. I think this is due to people not having a lot of patience, and also people's attention spans are really low when it comes to getting actions done. And what they see Trump is focusing on stuff that's going on overseas and also trying to stop the Epstein files from coming out. And that is what actually he's saying he believes hurt him in this election. I tend to agree with that. But I also think another thing that hurt him as well when it comes to the Republicans was Trump wasn't on the ballot. So Trump really pushes people to go out there and vote on both sides, really. And that really hurt the Republicans because the Democrats were motivated anyway because they hate Trump so much. So him not being on the ballot didn't really matter to them. Him being in office, it was enough motivation enough. And unfortunately, that's not enough motivation for us to go out there and vote, especially low propensity voters. So this is still, like I said before, a lot of work we need to do to try to convince these people to go out there and vote in all these elections, including off-year elections.
To the new year, and people are concerned that the administration and Congress, the Republican Congress, while they have it, did not address the issues that he was elected to address. And by the way, many of them were elected kicking and screaming with Trump dragging them behind him, were elected to address as well. So, I mean, It's actually a stunning result, Steve. I really thought in Virginia, easily, they were going to tell us it was the government shutdown. It's not even in Northern Virginia. And by the way, just let me say this, there's a Marquette poll out. That's only Democrat +5, which I can tell you, some people are going to say when they watch this. But look at the field dates. Marquette was in the field on the 4th of November. This thing moved, and it moved fast. People are getting the right needs a wake-up call. I mean, that's it. The right needs a wake-up call, and then you change this fast.
That's why I actually decided to do this video, because I feel like the right, the Republicans, MAGA, really does need a wake-up call and realize, look, there's a good chance we might actually lose the midterms and lose the House. And at that point, Trump is not going to get any of his policies or any of his agenda passed. And the most important thing is actually keeping that House and keeping the Senate and make sure that he can actually get some of his policies and some of his agenda passed. And unfortunately, the Republicans are not listening to the American people when it comes to the policies they want to get through, and also codifying Trump's agenda. They're not listening. And this right here should be the wake-up call you need to actually listen to them. Matter of fact, what happened in the elections in 2025 a few weeks ago should be the wake-up call they should have had. But unfortunately, it's like they have very short attention spans. It happened. Oh, it's only in Democrat states, and they forget about it. But the thing is, if you look at those elections that happened 4 years ago in the same states, Republicans won in Virginia and nearly won New Jersey. He only lost by 3%. So what happened from there to there? I'll tell you what happened. Trump won in 2024. And unfortunately, the Republicans haven't been following up on their part of the deal to actually codify his agenda and to get more bills passed that actually helps the American people.
So they're going to get crushed.
Let's even take Marquette, although it's pre-poll. Let's take it as a marker. That's 5. You're a D+8. What is Maris is out, and I understand Maris doesn't really fully incorporate ever. They always kind of miss MAGA. But it's another data point. What Maris is is Democrats plus 14 or plus 12?
Yeah, 14.
Okay,
14.
Okay, folks, when you get a generic ballot a year before a midterm that shows you, well, Baris, you tell me how many D plus or R plus 14s have you ever seen? That's the type of number you see on the Tea Party sweep of 2010, maybe, but 0. That's the highest you've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean 0 because as far as R plus, because polls did understate the Tea Party sweep. Honestly, the folks at Rasmussen and a few others back then were one of the only ones. They got made fun of it too. We're the only ones who, at this time, were forecasting a big Republican sweep was coming. And for people who say, "Oh, it's still early," it is. That's true. But guess what? Right about now, the generic ballot does start to get pretty predictive. So people's views don't change at the last minute as much as people like to think they do. They start to believe now. They start to form a narrative and tell a story in their head, and those who are truly persuadable will start to decide much earlier than people think. And it's hard once those views and once those decisions are ingrained in their minds. It's very difficult to change their views and change the direction they want to go. So the time is running out for Republicans. They gotta wake up, Steve. I mean, that's it. The excuse making and everything else has got to stop. It's got to stop, or you're going to get cooked.
Just need to get back to the basics.
And back to basics, what he means by that is it's the economy, stupid. What you got to do is do things to lower prices. And hopefully, the other thing that needs to happen is people's wages go up. Get the interest rates down so people could start buying homes and cars without having the interest rates up to like 5 or 6%, where it'll be down to 2 or 3%. Stuff like that will help the economy grow and will help also wages rise. So that's the big thing that needs to happen. And unfortunately, the American people believe Trump has been paying attention more and maybe even too much to foreign policy instead of paying attention to what's happening at home. They voiced their opinion and dislike of this by voting for Democrats in 2025, and it looks like there's a good chance they might do it in 2026, depending on if the Republicans course corrects in time. Hopefully that happens. But guys, that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed. Please hit that like button, comment, and share this out to everybody.